All right, here's the formula for the volume of a cylinder. It's similar to our prism formula. It's the area of the base times the height. But rather than just say the area of the base, since a cylinder always has a circle for a base, we just put in there the formula for the area of a circle, which is pi times radius squared. So we get this better version of the formula right here, and this is the one I would put in my notes as the volume of a cylinder is pi times radius squared times the height, which again is just the area of the base, pi times radius squared, times the height. And it doesn't matter if it's a right cylinder or one that's leaning, as long as you notice the height is the distance between the straight up from the bottom to the top, or from base to base. Let's do an example here. So we're asked, let's find the volume of this cylinder. Well, let's start with the formula. We know it's pi r squared times h. We fill in all of the information. Do we have all the information? We need to know the radius and the height. That's all we need to know. We have the height. Do we have the radius? Well, we don't have it. They gave us the diameter. See how they gave us the distance all the way across? But we can easily find the radius. It's halfway across. So if we just take our diameter and divide it by 2, see how it's 6 and 6? Our radius is 6. Okay, so from our figure, we are able to tell the radius was 6. The height is right here. The distance between the two bases was 5. Put that into the formula. So it's pi times 6, our radius, squared, times the height of 5. That's pi times 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36, times 5. Let's go ahead and multiply the 36 and the 5. 36 times 5 is 180. And then we have pi, and this would be in feet cubed. Okay, this would be our answer with pi if they want it with the pi in it. If they want you to go ahead and round your answer, just take your calculator out and continue and go ahead and do times pi there. And so the decimal answer would be 565.487 about if we round off. Okay, so again, those are both correct answers. It just depends on what form they want it in, with the pi left or with the pi multiplied through and not written. Okay, find the volume of a cylinder with a diameter of 12 and a height of 15. So what are we looking at here? We have a cylinder. Okay, and the information they gave us is the height is 15, the diameter is 12. We want the volume of that cylinder. So we look at our notes, and the volume of a cylinder is pi times radius squared times the height. We fill in our information. Okay, so once again, what's our volume going to look like? We need the radius and the height. Well, the height we have. Okay, the height it said was 15, so the h is 15. We need the radius squared. Okay, so what is the radius? Well, they gave us diameter. It's important to watch that because they will sometimes. We want the radius, which is halfway across. So half of 12 is 6. So again, we have a radius of 6. So we have pi times 6 squared times 15. 6 squared, 6 times 6 is 36. We multiply that by 15. 36 times 15 is 540. So our answer could be, if they want it in the form where you leave pi, 540 pi cubic inches. If they want it rounded, we go ahead and multiply by pi, and we get 1,696.46 cubic inches. Both correct answers. It just depends on what form they're looking for at the moment. Find the volume of the right cylinder. Give your answer rounded to the nearest tenth. Let's see, what did they say on the last? They didn't say on the last one. Okay, so again, we look very carefully. What do they want? They want volume, so that we know not to do surface area, and they want it for a cylinder. So we look at our notes and we see volume of a cylinder is pi times radius squared times the height. Okay, do we have what we need? We do. This time they actually gave us just the radius. That's awesome. Our radius is 8. So we have pi times 8 squared times the height. The distance between the two bases is 13. And we're good to go. Go carefully. 8 squared, 8 times 8 is 64. Now multiply that 64 times 13. And we get 832 pi. They didn't want it in terms of pi. They said round to the nearest tenth. So keep going. Do 832 times pi, and we get 2,613.8 if we round to the nearest tenth. And that would be in cubic meters.